Welcome to She Speaks by Atleta Filipina, our conversations with Filipina champions, co-presented by Medical Advance. Para sa dysmenorrhea na malala, lala to wala in as fast as 5 minutes. We want to have candid conversations with our athletes on their struggles, wins, and secrets to excellence that will inspire everyone to push limits, rise stronger, and win their own battles in life. I'm Biko, your host. And to introduce the guest for today's episode, her last stint was with Basket Arad of the top-tier Romanian Basketball League, and she is a mainstay in the Gilas Filipinas women's national team, which recently competed in the 2025 FIBA Women's Asia Cup. She was formerly and actually a 5-time UAAP champion of the NU Lady Bulldogs, and she played abroad in 5 other countries: Taiwan, Serbia, France, China, and Australia. Well, let's welcome Jack Animam. Hi, Jack!
Hi, V. Thank you for having me.
Ayun. And in every She Speaks episode, we actually start the podcast with a very fun question that is made just for you. So my question to you is, if Filipinos were to visit Romania, which places should they visit?
I would say Arad. Yes, Arad.
Bakit? Ano meron sa Arad?
Kasi it's a very small city na very, parang nostalgic, very contemporary siya, and super nice. And it's a small city, so you can do everything in a day or two. Yeah.
Oh, I see. So what's your favorite thing about Romania naman? I mean, yun yung one of the countries kasi na hindi masyado napupunta ng mga Pinoy, di ba?
Well, in Romania, people are so nice. And they know how to speak English. So, yes.
Ang
Yeah.
galing! Wow. Like, and I know that you've also played in like 5 other countries. So that's actually what we want to learn from you today na just being able to play women's basketball abroad. Have you ever dreamed about that when you were younger?
No, it was honestly never in my dream. Like, all I wanted was to finish school, get a diploma, and, have a better job. That's it. But I guess may ibang plano si Lord. And basketball, I just use basketball as a tool para makapag-aral ako kasi kapag basketball player ka sa school, may scholarship ka. So, yun lang talaga yung habol ko at the time. But then, eventually as I keep playing and I started to understand more about basketball, and it opened a lot of doors for me, and eventually I fell in love to the sport. And I never imagined that one day this is gonna be my passion, and now this is my career.
Exactly. Grabe, no? From just playing in the UAP, usually a lot of the athletes that graduate from the UAP parang work na, like kahit like
Yeah.
corporate, ganon. So, what was that journey like for you naman after graduation?
Well, after graduation, had I still have a chance to continue playing with Taiwan school. So now I'm gonna be their foreign student athlete. But also at that time, I already have a job waiting for me. But then I was like, bata pa ako, hindi ko alam kung hanggang kailan ako magba-basketball, and hindi mo alam kung kailan may darating pang oportunidad na ganito. So sabi ko, you know, I wanna I wanna do it kasi it's also my dream to become an exchange student. So perfect, 'di ba? So sabi ko mag-aaral ako sa ibang bansa, and then I get to play basketball also at the same time. So yun, I went to Taiwan. I live in Taiwan for 6 months. This is in the middle of pandemic. Yung may face shield pa, face mask, may plastic cover pa and everything. Tapos ako, buong Pilipinas naka-lockdown, sumasakay ako ng eroplano papuntang Taiwan.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
I didn't know that yun yung naging journey mo. And I also didn't know that you already had a job. So, what is that? That you had And the opportunity in Taiwan, did you have to apply for being a foreign exchange student? Ganon.
No, actually, yung Taiwan coach na yun, yung school, Shishin University, si Coach Ho. So, every year sa NU, we go to Taiwan for a training camp before the season starts. So, every year, si Coach Ho, sila lagi yung kinakalaban namin. So, parang nagkaroon na ng relationship between our managers to Coach Ho. And then, parang before mag-SEA Games 2019, they came here in the Philippines para sila naman yung mag-training camp dito, then kinalaban namin sila. So one of the assistant coach, she messaged me, sabi niya na gusto nila ako kunin to play for their school as a foreign student athlete. But then at that time, parang hindi pa nag-start yung UAAP tapos may FIBA, may SEA Games. So I had a lot of on my plate. So parang hindi ko siya masyado sineryoso na parang okay, but right now I don't know what to say. I don't know what to tell you kasi it's not really on my mind right now kasi I have to focus on this and that first, right? So, yun. After nun, okay, UAAP champion kami, FIBA, and then SEA Games, first ever gold, 3x3, 5-on-5. And then January, February 2020, parang yun na doon namin parang yun na may news na magla-lockdown, ganyan kasi yung COVID, 'di ba? Ganon. So parang may pandemic na, ganyan. Parang, oh, okay. So parang lahat was put on a stop, everything's halt. So yung offer na yon, parang sabi ko, okay, parang since pandemic na baka hindi na totoo yun, 'di ba? Pero the next day, I got a message again. Then telling me na tuloy pa rin. So they're asking me to process my visa and everything. And I was like, totoo ba to? Tapos yun nga, nag-lockdown ulit. So parang ang hirap, yung Taiwan embassy sarado kasi nga pandemic, ganyan. Pero siguro July 2020, September kasi, oo, tama. July to September, medyo naging lenient yung quarantine. Tapos eventually nagbukas na din yung Taiwan embassy. So I was able to do all the necessary requirements so I can obtain my visa. And then, I think, kasi November, I think October, some September 3rd week or first week of October, I went to Taiwan.
Wow. Intense. So, yun. So, that's what you meant by, may face shields pa. Kasi kala ko you were like on the plane. Tapos biglang, lockdown. Pero you had a season of, like face masks and face shields here pa pala in the Philippines. So, yun. Actually, jumping from that topic though, like so your next stint after the pandemic, right after the pandemic, was in Taiwan. And how did you manage like with the conditioning, like getting back into playing, or was there pressure then when you had to go back to playing basketball?
No, actually wala kasi nung even naman quarantine, I made sure I do some type of, exercise at home. I think I even rented weights kasi hindi ka pwede magpunta sa gym. So, I rented weights so just I can, keep maintain my muscles. And just, every day, try to move as much as possible, get my heart rate up. So, para hindi ako ganun walang hangin. And also, when I got to Taiwan, I need to be on quarantine, isolate for 14 days. So even in my room, I do exercises just to, so it won't be as hard when I started to get back in playing again.
Okay. So since that was your first stint abroad, what were the things that you learned? Like, what did you have to adjust to also? Or yung realizations that hindi mo na-expect lang?
Well, when I was in Taiwan, it wasn't really that hard of adjustment for me kasi I've been familiar in Taiwan. You know, I think Taiwan is my second home now. With I've been in and out in the country in Taiwan for many years. So it's like nothing new to me, and the people also, I'm already familiar with my teammates. I'm already familiar because some of them played in the national team, so I played against them and I already know them before I get the offer, you know, to play for a school in Taiwan. So well, I say na there wasn't a lot of adjustment. Siguro the adjustment that I had to do was like when it comes to playing na. And also they don't speak, like most of my teammates don't speak English, so I had to catch up with the language. But after than that, you know, everything went smoothly.
I see. Then after
Yeah.
that, what were your experiences naman in the other countries?
So after Taiwan, I had a chance to, you know, go to the States. And yeah, when I went to the States, that one was a culture shock. In terms of basketball wise, yes, that's a culture shock. Kasi um dito sa Pilipinas ako yung pinakamalaki, right? So
Yeah.
I don't need I don't need to dribble the ball, I don't need to shoot the ball. Pero nung dumating ako doon, it was eye-opening for me, and I'm like, wow, I've done this in the Philippines, but here I am coming here. I feel like I don't know how to play basketball because same height as me can dribble the ball up and down and can shoot threes. And all my life, all I know was to rebound the ball, pass, and catch and finish. That's all I know. So my trainer told me that yeah, I may be somebody in the Philippines, I may be this and that in the Philippines, but here I am nobody. Nobody knows about me, and my height is just average. Nothing is a wow factor about me. So if I wanna play, oh, well, the dream was to play in the WNBA. Sabi niya, kung gusto mo maglaro ng WNBA, or not just, I mean, in WNBA, but overseas, you have to play, like, you have to change the way you play. Not really change, but you have to learn a lot. You need to learn how to play away from the basket. You need to shoot jumpers because your height is not gonna do it, because you're gonna play against women that's taller than you, heavier than you. So yeah, and I was like, that was like a punch in me, like, wow, okay. And then I was like, kaya ko ba to? Like, do I really want this? But you know, it's like basketball is a game of learning, you know. Even if you're good every day, you still learn something new, and that's what it was like for me. Like, I, as much as possible, I'm trying to be a sponge, just absorbing everything that I can and apply it to myself. Yeah.
So were you able to learn nga how to like shoot jumpers, like increase your physicality?
Well, physicality was always there, but you know, being comfortable dribbling the ball, being comfortable, you know, shooting is really the main thing. I remembered my trainer told, because I was with EWP at this time before. So my trainer told Patty, he said, sabi niya, I don't think she can play overseas. This was like my first week of training with him, right? Sabi niya, hindi niya daw alam kung kaya ko maglaro ng maging a professional player, right? And Buddy was like, just give her time. It's her first time, and it was, yeah, pandemic and all that other stuff, type of stuff, right? But then after 2 weeks, he came back to Patty and said, "Oh, I take back what I said because I don't know what happened to her. Everything that I told her to do, she can do it. I don't know, like something's changed to her." So, well, I guess that's a compliment. So yeah.
Yeah, and that was just 1 week for him to change his mind, diba? And then after that, you played in like four other countries then.
So I signed my first professional contract in Serbia, and that made me the first, Filipina homegrown men or women to play in Europe as a basketball player. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Nakaka-inspire, Jack. Like, just the resilience to even, like, get past, like, those comments. Kasi parang sinabi na sa'yo eh. And you just really humbled yourself to do the work and put out the work then and look where it has taken you then. And being a yeah, since you really made history also being the first ever Filipina to play in the Serbian basketball league and many more other countries overseas. Like what were the highlights naman of being an overseas Filipino basketball player?
Well, of course, I think they're surprised. Like, oh, you're a Filipino. I thought you're an American. No, I'm a Filipino. So I guess some of these countries that I played, they don't know that Philippine exists. And just the fact that, they now they're asking about about the Philippines. Where's Philippines? Like, I think that is something that I take pride on myself. And then every time I go out there, I really play my best because it's not just me who I am representing and who I am playing for, but also, I'm playing for, thousands girls back home who's dreaming to be here also, and just showing them that it's possible, because representation matters. You won't be someone if you don't have someone to look up to or to be your role model. But I think, to be a Filipina in this industry, and going around these different countries that they've never heard about Philippine women's basketball. Now they do, and it's just gonna be not just us, but for the next, coming up, the next one up. So yeah.
Yeah, I remember when we were at the Jack Animam basketball camp in
Yeah.
Bulacan. There were like maybe half of the camp were girls already
We're,
playing
yeah.
basketball. And before, I was also talking to Coach Pat, sabi niya na parang before only 5, 10 girls turn up. Pero dun ang dami. And
Bang.
I'm sure it's because they know that yung paano ko nakarating doon, and it started that they just picked up a ball, they just love the game, and then they'll continue to train and play the game then. Ayun.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Jack, for sharing your journey talaga with us. And we also want to talk about the your recent stint in the FIBA Women's Asia Cup, because since She Speaks by Atleta Filipina is also winning about Filipino athletes winning their battles in life, and we've talked about how you won that battle in your life, just paving the way for young Filipinas to play basketball. We also want to talk about like the team din, like Gilas Filipinas women naman. Can you guys give us an inside track of the team's journey in the competition, because that one was really crazy, like ups and downs talaga.
Yeah, well, first of all, we're coming there without our two veteran players, with Janine and Afriel, and everybody else. Because, like, think of it, I'm only 26, and I'm the second oldest in the team. So imagine the age of my teammates. So yeah, we're basically one of the youngest team, and not just the youngest, but also most of these girls haven't played Asia Cup, so this is their debut season in the Gilas. But we had a very heavy task. Like our work is cut out for us already with playing Australia the first game, and then Japan, and then Lebanon. And we barely, we barely practice full as the players, like complete. So like the game against Australia, that's our first game and also practice that we're all together. So imagine that. In Australia's what, number two in the world?
Yeah.
So yeah, of course, what do you expect? We lost by, it was a blowout loss, and it was an ugly loss. And as one of the, basically oldest player in this team, I had to, I had to parang pull them up, because I mean this is just the first game. There's still a lot of games to play, and I think after that game we had a meeting, and I just, we had a talk, and I just told them that, okay, come on now, it's Australia and it's Japan. Realistically, no, we can't win against them. Let's be honest to ourselves, right? But I think what we can do is we can make that game competitive. And I think that regardless who are they or what they are, if we play how we supposed to play, and if we just play hard and just take pride on what we do, in that, I think walang mawawala sa atin. Whatever, win or lose, if as long as you did what you're supposed to do and you give everything you've got, I think walang you can never lose on that. So I said, Australia and Japan, this is gonna be our preparation, like practice game. But the main thing is Lebanon, because that team, we know we can match up with them, talent wise, personal wise, we can match up with them. And that's the game that we know we can win. So that's what I told them. And then come to Japan game, I don't know, it was crazy, because we only lost by 3 points against Japan, and at one point we were down by 20 in the third quarter, but we were able to cut it down, to 3 points. And if we have some extra time, I think we will won that game. But that game was like, it was a different feeling than we played Australia. Like, you saw, I mean, everybody was like really, like, we played together, and just the look on their faces, like they're hungry, that they wanted it. And just our togetherness, and the way we responded from that ugly loss against Australia to this game. I think, I mean, the scoreboard says that we lost, but I think it's beyond the scoreboard. And I think, how we play, I think that's a win for us. And it was a very good momentum for us coming to the Lebanon game. And yeah, then come Lebanon game, we finally got that W. And I was, it was a tough, hard battle for us, but we managed. So I'm really proud of the girls. And just like you said, how we showed, what Philippine women's basketball is.
And actually, like, because it was a really tough loss at the first part, and I know that like being a professional athlete and in a team sport, you'd have to bounce back really fast, because that's just the first game. You have two or more games to go. So as a athlete, like, and as a team leader, then like, how do you guys bounce back so quickly?
Well, I guess, okay, we after the game, you have a couple hours to, if you want to cry, cry. If you want to think about it, think about it. But the next day, tomorrow is another day. So what happened last game, you can bring that to the next game. 0-0. So take what you can take from that game, and forget what you can forget from that game, and only bring the things that will help you moving forward. You really have to have like a short memory, especially with this type of tournament that you played games like every single day, and it's just a week of tournament. So you really have to have a strong mindset, strong mental health, because it's not easy. Because people just see the misses and the makes basket, but they don't know what's happening after that, when the camera's not on, when you're just in your room, when everybody's on the locker room. People don't know that, and people will never understand that because they're never in our shoe. And it's easy to say, it's easy to say things because you just see the product, the outcome, but never the process. So yeah, you really have to be mentally strong, kasi if you can't, yeah, it will eat you up, and it's gonna be hard because nobody can pull yourself up but you.
Yeah, I like what you said that people only see the result and the product, but there's so much going on inside, like your inside your head, like what you girls are feeling. And I love what you said also, that you always have something to take away din kahit if whether it's a loss or a win. So what are the team and your biggest takeaways from the recent FIBA Women's Asia Cup?
Well, I think it's always been there. I know that we can compete. We really can, and I think everybody loves Philippines, women's Philippines basketball in Asia Cup, because they love the way, we play, how we showed heart, even if we're down like 20 points. You know, if you're in the arena and you just like really watch the game, you really watch the game, and you see how we're diving for the loose ball, how we fighting for that backs out. It's beyond that, and I think we can be really a dark horse in Asia Cup. It's just that we need to have a system, we need to have a program that's gonna be for a long run and sustainable, and we need to have a bigger pool of players, because not everybody like that what happened to Afril and Janine. We need to have that pool, like a big talent pool of players. And I hope that the UAAP schools will lend their players. I mean, what's the point of playing in the UAAP if you can play in the national team, right? It doesn't make any sense, because yeah, I know now there's a professional league with WMPBL, but right now it's only one, and there's a lot of players. And these UAAP players, I think it's really beneficial for them to play in for the national team, because at the end of the day, what they learn from playing against the best of the best in Asia, defending the best guard, best post, best shooter in Asia, and come back to their mother school. And I think they're gonna be a different type of player. The confidence that they built, the confidence that they got from playing, of course, like, oh, I played, let's say, the best point guard of China, the best point guard of Japan, the best shooter of Japan. So UAAP is gonna be a lot much easier, and the level of competition in UAAP is gonna get higher and higher. So yeah, that's just my aspiration and dreams for the Philippine women's basketball, because at the end of the day, everybody will benefit. We just have to come together.
Yeah, it's these moments that transform us as athletes also. Like it's
Yeah,
not every day that you could actually play for the national team. You do
that's
not Yeah, not all women's basketball players get that opportunity, right?
Dysmenorrhea? Ang pain na malala, mawawala with Medical Advance 400. Lala?
Wala!
Unilab yan.
So I like what you said also, that we need like a bigger pool also of players, and I think even that starts in the grassroots, and like it also shows where women's basketball is at right now. So, can you talk about like the stage of where women's basketball in the Philippines is, and where are we headed?
I think, looking back as to, when I was started from now, we've come so far. But sabi nga nila, malayo na pero malayo pa, which is true. We still have so many things to achieve, as a country in terms of, playing basketball, women in, especially women's basketball. But, the steps that we're taking towards that, I think we're headed in the right direction. And you can see that the future is really bright. We have tons of local talents here in our home soil, and those, the help coming in from Filipino Americans, like they're reaching out to come here to play for us, which is good thing because now they're coming here to play for the national team. Before it's hard, but now because they see that, yeah, Philippine women's basketball is on the rise. So, and yeah, it's exciting times, but again, it's still, we have a long way to go still. But we take all the wins that we can get. And this past year, seeing a lot of events for women's basketball is really amazing because now these kids have more, places to play to, and the platform that's been giving for women's basketball, and now everybody can see that, yeah, there's Philippine women's basketball.
Yes, and we also talked about the staging of the Jack Animam camp. So it was the first one this year. So, what was your like? What impact did you see naman after holding that camp?
You know what, someone told me na first time daw nila sumali sa camp, gusto nila mag-basketball pero walang camp na free for them, which is something na, yeah, I can relate because this is the reason why I'm doing this. Kasi nung ako din, I was like I was so reluctantly took up basketball kasi I don't see anybody like me who's playing basketball, di ba? So I think now, having that camp, and now they see that, and they've experienced that, and just looking at them, the smiles on their faces was like, it's all worth it, and that's just the first one, and I hope to do more and more, different provinces, different. I want it to be accessible for everybody because I think if it's easy, if it's easy to access, and I think everybody can do it, and there's gonna be more and more, and kids are gonna develop more and more, and we're gonna have a lot of really good talents.
Oo, malaking bagay talaga na free. As
Yeah.
in, a lot, and, pero I guess like, I'm sure you want to make this like a, sort of like a year-long thing, like a program that
Yeah.
will last a long time din. So how can
Mhm.
Filipinos like support you in this initiative?
Well, I mean, right now I'm still trying to put it all together for this to be a long term, but also I'm in the process of, I wanted to have a foundation, basically, so that it can fund this basketball camp, which is free for everybody, and it's not just basketball, but also, the basic things that you need, like you will be needing in living your everyday life. So it's not just basketball, but also in life in general. So I'm, hopefully, I'll establish my foundation soon, and it's gonna be a lot more exciting things. Yeah.
I know, Jack Animam Foundation, let's go! And can you
Yeah.
share to us though what your vision is for this foundation? Actually, exciting lang talaga when I hear it because 'di ba, a lot of our professional athletes really have their own foundation. Pero What will make Jack Animam Foundation be so special?
Well, I think bakit siya magiging special, it's gonna be based on my journey, my upbringing, it's gonna be all about my experience and, coming from not a well-known family. I didn't come from money, and I understand, the struggles and whatnot. Just like, you know, going to school, it was hard, and I had an opportunity with basketball na pwede pala ako mapag-aral ng basketball, 'di ba? So I took up that just to have a good education, and now I'm in a position where I can do so much more for my community, and I really wanted to, to for the underserved communities. Those kids from underserved communities, I want them to have access in everything, in sports, in free education, learning, workshop, whatever. I think that's what's gonna be my main foundation of my foundation. And just to, of course, a lot of young kids you'll see homeless, a lot of kids getting in juvenile because of doing bad stuffs, and that's something that, if they have access to sports, if they have access to a recreational center, now they're going to be preoccupied doing things that will help them live their own life, preparing them for the life out there, rather than, being influenced to do bad things just because of poverty, you know
Wow, so it's really using basketball as a way to like a better future then. And I'm sure like a lot of these kids not only do they lack education but they lack the equipment, the shoes for
Exactly.
basketball din ganun.
And I
And
mean, first, it's a place. So if they have a place where they can do things, I think it's gonna be easier.
that's true. Yeah. Oh, we're so excited for that. Jack Animam Foundation, let's go. This is her announcement in the She Speaks podcast. Yeah, so I'm sure that you've been all and Jack, so you've been wondering siguro like what this box is in
Yes.
this that's just sitting in front of me. But this is the segment where we go into Atleta Filipina rapid fire. So I'm going to pull out random questions for you to answer, and you just have to answer it like whatever is on top of your mind. Okay? So yeah, let's start.
Okay.
It's a random question. Okay, this one it says, oh, one rule you'd make to guarantee equal treatment for women in sports.
Oh, equal
Wow.
opportunity. One rule?
Oo.
Wow. Equal pay.
Equal pay. Yes, that's right.
Yes.
I agree. Okay, so next, maybe like we'll have like around two more questions. So, this one's interesting. So, what's your ultimate sports bucket list item or like milestone?
Milestone?
Oh, like milestone. Like, what's one thing on your sports bucket list that you want to share with us? Ano pang gusto
Oh.
mong gawin sa sport ng basketball, ganun?
Ano pang gusto ko? I want to make my own basketball league.
Oh my gosh! Ang dami! Yes, may Jack Animam Camp na tayo. May Jack Animam Foundation.
Lahat
Jack Animam Basketball League. Siyempre, we'll be there. Atleta Filipina will be happy to support.
Yes.
Ayan. Okay. So, yeah, like, ano, this question. So, which country, oh, if you could train anywhere in the world, which country would you move to?
Which country I would move to?
Yeah, like, if there's
Ooh,
like,
that's tough. That's a tough one. Which country?
for
Well, I was
training.
so um for training or just for
Training, competing, ganun. Oo.
US, USA. USA.
USA. For WNBA ba?
Yes, USA.
Yeah, we have not touched about that actually, yung WNBA. So, is that still like a dream of yours
I
talaga?
mean, that's still the dream, and everything that I'm doing right now is heading towards that. So when the right is time, Lord will make it happen.
That's true. Amen.
Yes.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
guess like I'm not on the rapid fire question, but then like we also want to know like who's your favorite team, favorite player then sa WNBA, because even that is getting big in the country right now.
Oh, yes. Well, my favorite players is Nafisa Collier and Asia Wilson. Yeah.
Yeah, so did you get some Asia Wilson merch na? Meron na sa
I had
Nike.
A1's shoes. Yeah.
Wow!
The pearl whites. I had that one.
Ang
Yeah.
galing. I actually was able to meet Asia Wilson like 3 years ago
Oh,
sa
wow.
Sydney World Cup. Yeah, I think
Yeah, World Cup. Yeah.
diba? So I think once you I agree like when I watched Team USA, parang that was what got me into the WNBA. Then I didn't know that it was getting so big na in the US that time.
Kasi I mean, I think in general, women's sports are on the rise. Not just basketball, but women's in sports. So yeah.
Yes, this is why Atleta Filipina it really exists just to support you guys, give you guys a platform, and we really want to elevate women's sports kasi ayun nga sabi mo na malayo na pero malayo pa.
But,
Yeah.
yes. And also thank you for everything that you do for telling our stories and pushing uplifting women's sports.
Aw, thanks, Jack.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like the last we actually want to hear like an encouragement lang from you to our listeners and viewers, like you have a final message or what do you really want to impart to them.
Well, I hope there's gonna be a lot of kids watching this, and I just want to say that kung ano man yung dream nyo, whether it is, to play basketball or whatever it is, as long as you put your mind and your heart into it, nothing is impossible. And hindi ka basta babae lang, babae ka. You can do everything that you want in this world, regardless. So if you want to be a president one day, go girl. You can be the president. No one's stopping you.
Yeah,
That's
kahit
all.
hindi ako kid at heart,
Yeah.
but I think that really is a message for everyone. So thank you so much, Jack. And to all our listeners and viewers from Atleta Filipina, please follow us at Atleta Filipina on our social media accounts to catch more She Speaks episodes and our other features on Filipina athletes. And Jack Animam is always gonna be there then. And this season is also co-presented by Medical Advance para sa dysmenorrhea na malala, lala to wala in as fast as 5 minutes. Again, I'm Vigo, your host. Thank you for tuning in. Bye!
Bye.